Dr. Stephen Strange absolutely delivered, and Wanda's performance was impeccable. I loved how their on-screen chemistry just set off everything from the very beginning of the movie. Even though I feel there were a lot of things I didn't like about the Multiverse of Madness movie, I really feel that it was comic book based, and it really did a lot of fan service to a lot of people that love the comic book series, you know, WandaVision or House of M. I'm just gonna be honest with you, I just didn't really love the movie, okay? Let's just keep it real. I didn't like how they focused a lot on the comic books instead of, you know, WandaVision per se. And I know what you're thinking. It's kind of hard for me to explain being my voice is gone, but there are parts in the movie where they could have had it tie into WandaVision, where they pick up at the end of that cut scene from WandaVision where she's reading that book on that in that mountain, in that gorge. But, you know, they did things so much differently. Wanda at the end of that series was nicer and understanding, and I get that the Darkhold had a hold on her, but to me, it just came out of nowhere. This movie did a lot of that, things out of nowhere, okay? I felt like a lot of the introduction of characters and what they do and where they come from was almost put upon us to understand and not really be explained. There were a lot of parts in the movie that I felt we could have dealt without, all right? And I have a very unpopular opinion with the Illuminati. I don't think that Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Captain Carter, Captain Marvel, or who was the other one? I can't remember at the moment. Professor Xavier, oh my gosh. I don't feel that, you know, these characters were absolutely needed. John Krasinski's character was wanted, but I didn't really feel sold on his character. From what I hear, the Black Bolt was from the Inhumans. Cool. We get a nod to a show that everyone hated. Wonderful. And we get Captain Marvel, who we don't even get explained how she's Captain Marvel. And of course, we had the best one of them all, Professor Xavier. Plain and simple, the fights weren't good enough. The scene with the Illuminati wasn't long enough, and the movie could have dealt without it, all right? Everyone died in such a simpleton way. It just felt like, you know, there was no payoff. To see Mr. Fantastic spread into little rubber bands and to see everyone die so meaninglessly, it really took a lot out of me in the movie. The argument or the debate on this subject is they're from different multiverses. I get it, guys. This is where we are. The Multiverse of Madness. There's a lot of madness, but, you know, where is the method to the madness, okay? I feel that it's just everywhere. We're getting all types of shit, okay? How could she kill Professor Xavier in the astral plane where that is where he dominates? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody could beat him, but, you know, he died so sad, and there wasn't even, like, a good payoff at the end, like I said. But I think the movie could have dealt without that whole scene of the Illuminati and just introduced Christine and the evil Doctor Strange. Simple. America Chavez's character, she's supposed to be, from my understanding, a representation of the Latino urban community, but whatever. You know, they did that with her, and they needed her powers pretty much. That's why she was in this movie, not because her character is compelling, or we got to see her reunite with her parents, or we get to see her become something better. No, they just needed her power, and she was, what do they call it? A MacGuffin. She was the MacGuffin of this movie. She was the, you know, the amulet in the cave that they're going for. She's the treasure in the ship that everyone is diving for, you know? So they tried to give her a little bit of growth and a little bit of character build up, but I didn't really feel anything for her at the end. I think one of my favorite parts in the entire movie was when Doctor Strange had to dream walk into another form of himself, which was a dead body. That was so sick. I love how he was able to manipulate the souls and control them to do his bidding. That was totally insane. I never thought that was what it was going to be in the trailer. And I love how Marvel always does that, you know. It almost seems like they give us too much in the trailer, but the way that it actually lays out in the movie is totally different. And I loved the fighting between Doctor Strange and Wanda. I feel that if they would have just focused on that, you know, and Wong, and even America Chavez, you know, if they just could have dealt with that, it would have been great. It was strange to me, no pun intended to the doc, that she essentially traumatized this family and just gave up. She could have went and found multiple different versions of her kids, but it was just very simple, okay? She was doing all this crazy magic that we've never seen, and there were aspects of it I absolutely loved when she was going through the reflections, or when she was using that whisper thing and she was popping up behind everyone. There was definitely a focus on the horror in this movie, and that's what everybody has loved so far. The gruesomeness, the horror aspect of it, because in the House of M, essentially Wanda kills off everyone because she cannot get her kids back, and she ends up destroying the X-Men. So a lot of us were hoping that they would reverse it in this movie and she would create the X-Men, but as we saw, she just snapped Professor Xavier's neck like a turkey bone at Thanksgiving. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. That music fight between Sinister Strange and our Doctor Strange was extremely weird, and I felt like, maybe if they would just explain why they had to do the music fight, I could have been on board for it even more. It's not even like they were on a magic music world, where everything is made of music notes. It was weird. I don't like that, I feel that they left too much into the interpretation of the fans or people that know the comic books. Maybe there's a comic book scene where the Stranges have this music fight, and it's so big, and it is explained in the comics, and they expected us to know it here, but we didn't. From what I heard, the director of this movie didn't even watch WandaVision, and that's so weird to me. You would think that they have to all be on the same page, and we're going to be picking up where the character left off, and it's going to be, pretty explanatory, okay? That's the problem with these movies. They're so different, and they're connecting to so many different things that I don't get that feeling. Overall, though, I really enjoyed the movie. I love to see Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme Wong. There were a couple characters that were introduced in the movie. There was a cut scene with a superhero that I have no idea who it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried to Google who she was, and from what I read, it seems confusing because Marvel is changing the origin of a lot of characters, It says like she is the sister of Dormammu, but she marries Doctor Strange, but Dormammu is Doctor Strange. I don't know, guys. What did you think about this movie? At the end of the day, I was gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and I know that is extremely low for a Marvel movie, but I just didn't like any of those scenes, man. If they were going to kill off the Illuminati, at least give it like that, those type of fight scenes like in the Avengers, something we'll always remember, a fight scene between Mr. Fantastic and Wanda that no one would forget. But this movie, I'm sorry, it's forgettable. I hope you guys don't hate me for this rating on this review, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and jump in my comments. Please let me know which character death was your favorite. Was it Professor Xavier? Was it Mr. Fantastic? I think mine was Black Bolt, okay? She hit him with that Matrix move, erased his mouth, and he blew up his head. This whole scene reminded me of Invincible, when I can't remember the guy's name, but he killed off every superhero in their little Justice League group, and it was so gruesome, so nasty. I'd never seen anything like it. It gave me a weird feeling, and that's what I felt watching this movie. Not a good correlation, you know what I'm saying? But you already know what it is, man. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.
I'm really only trying to make it to the top. Most times I'm pessimistic, still I give it all I got. Did what I had to do to make it out. Had to get it right cause my shit, he was coming out. I had a man up and put that money in my mouth. So when these niggas talk, I ain't trying to hear them out.